In the sense of exact term, but there are some sensors which contain some solvents, chemical solvents. For example, in case of BO, we have to add some chemicals inside it for us to get the better reading. So there are some electronic sensors as well for different participants. So mainly the labs. So kind of there also would be one of the good thing, I guess.
आदित्य आपकी चाय ठंडी हो रही है, मतलब चाय लेते हुए बात कर रहे हैं।
You are working on the water drone or you dropped that?
वाटर ड्रोन सर अभी के लिए हमने ड्रॉप किया हुआ है, स्क्रैप नहीं किया सर, ड्रॉप किया बिकॉज उसका जो एप्लीकेशन है, we have identified that it has a huge potential in the defense of Indian Navy as well as because underwater inspections के लिए गॉड फॉरबिड कि कभी जैसे भोपाल के केस में आपने अगर कभी सुना हो मेनी पीपल कमिट सुसाइड इन जंपिंग इन लेक्स, सो वहाँ पे दे माइट रिक्वायर दिस काइंड ऑफ डिवाइसेस, बट इन इंडियन नेवी दे आर टारगेटिंग दिस काइंड ऑफ डिवाइसेस। नेशनल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ ओशनोग्राफी ने सर एक अंडर वाटर ड्रोन बहुत अच्छा डेवलप किया है, सो उनको एज अ रेफरेंस लेके मैंने जो डिवाइस बनाया था उतना हाई। तो लेटर स्टेज में सर अगर अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी रहती है तो वी फोकस करना पड़ा, बट इन द इनिशियल स्टेज हम इसको पूरा कम्प्लीटली डेवलप करने के बाद ही।
अभी आपका जो स्टार्टअप है उसमें ओनरशिप कंट्रोल या तो फंडिंग है 100%, दैट इज बाय एनएसएफ या आपके भी फंड है
उसमें इक्विटी शेयर होता है सर, 15% इक्विटी शेयर बिकॉज आई एम नॉट अ स्टूडेंट। In case of students, the whole 100% fund is being allotted by the government. But company की equity में देखें तो we have 100% equity. Equity के against हमें वो funding नहीं।
Investor support आपको मिल जाता है।
हाँ।
Like after the completion of the mandatory period, that period complete होने के बाद investor support है।
Yes, yes. We have been connected fortunately to different venture capital funds. IB camp, IB ventures.
Okay, so here to the Department of FDP and also taking care of the incubation center. Basically, I'm officer in charge of the incubation center or the CEO, and it's a separate entity which is like Section 8 company which we have formed, and we have our own board. So as of now, I'm acting as a faculty in charge or the CEO of that particular incubation center. So I'll just quickly highlight what we are doing currently and how many startups are with us and what kind of support we offer, so that if in case of any interactions we can have. So we have an incubator infrastructure over in another building called 1E301 over there. So where we have a boardroom facility and seating or cubicle facilities. There is more of an office space with the boardroom facilities. Usually some of the startups are incubated with the operated, even if it is virtual as well. So the space support is there and the cubicles which is over there, and then they also get access to some of the facilities at IIT Indore campus on some nominal charges. Okay, so it is not free for suppose if they want to use the workshop facility, suppose if they want to use some prototyping facility which we have developed through Makerspace lab, which you would be visiting after this. You will be taken to that Makerspace lab, which is like a prototyping lab, which is now one of the first year course which we are offering basically to the first year students. So first year students now they will be working on a Makerspace lab. Earlier it was called as workshop course, central workshop. In your engineering curriculum you have something called workshop. Now in IIT's curriculum we have revised it as a Makerspace where they will be developing a prototype. There the applications of your welding, carpenting and so on, starting from robotics, starting from whatever the hands-on experience they would be experiencing, everything will be covered as a part of that particular very innovative lab which we call it as Makers Lab. So after this you will be going over there. If they want to use some sort of a prototyping labs, or we have something called as an innovation lab which is Tinkerer's Laboratory, where the students are working towards some innovation projects. If they want to develop some proof of concepts, you have that particular lab as well. Or any other facilities if they wish to use, of course they will be allowed to use on a nominal charge. The charges are as equivalent to that of an IIT Indore community member accessing that. Remember that in IIT Indore, if we want to access that lab for other reasons as well, we have to also pay the charges. That's how the model is. Not here, every IIT. So it is not taken for granted that everything is free, because the government also gives funds, not 100% as grant. We are also repaying for the government. It is not like IITs are nowadays, for the last 10 years, we are not getting 100% buildings and everything free of cost. No, it is loan. Government will be funding us 100 crore or 500 crore through loan. Loan means we have to settle that loan. Okay, because the general public awareness or intentions is also that IIT is getting 100% everything free from the government. Of course, they support per year based on the salaries and other operational expenses, they would be supporting under the grant component. But the major costing with respect to infrastructure development, with respect to big equipments purchase, facility creation, everything will come into the loan part, which we have to pay with the interest against it. That's how the revenue generation or resource generation also now comes inside the IIT Indore. That's why when we conduct some courses, a nominal charge will be there. When we conduct some sort of an access to a facilities which we are opening outsiders, we will be charging nominal charges, which is as equivalent to that of, for the startups we are offering the charges as equivalent to that of an IIT Indore community member will be paying for using that facility. Usually for outsiders, in general it is higher, the charges will be higher. But since they are incubated with us, we offer that particular concession to them as well. So we have actually mentor support, like we have availability of mentors who is empaneled mentors. Apart from that, we have other mentors who are available with us, especially with respect to our faculty members or who are not empaneled with us, but still they are available for any sort of help. For example, Aditya's case also, we have linked 2 to 3 faculty members for him to guide and give some suggestions on the prototype which he is doing now. We are open to link the incubatees if they want any sort of help in terms of technical ideas. It is not like I am having this idea, can you link me with a faculty member who can help me in that? If it is a broader way, we cannot do that, because faculty, it is like it is their time. We cannot say that I am having this idea, you give a faculty member who can develop or implement this idea. No, that is why we encounter most of the cases. 80% of the cases will come with the idea. Idea, of course, developing is difficult, but still, idea is still idea only. Unless you don't, the concerned individual don't have a credible plan about that or some sort of a proof of concept which can able to demonstrate, then there is no point in linking them to someone for huge development of that, for the development of that particular work. That also we take care of that. See, if basically in case of Mr. Aditya, he came up with a concrete plan on how it is going to be, and he has developed some POCs in that stage. So he has a plan in his mind. Then the suggestions for to go in this approach or what technical approach we can follow, we can always link. But most of the cases which we encounter are the other way. They will come with one document, this is what I have to develop, this. Can you provide some technical support? Means IIT has to help him to develop, him or her to develop that. That of course, anything we cannot do. It is also, if they are ready to pay under the consultancy charge mode, because we do that in under something called as consultancy projects. So the company comes with a problem statement and the technical solutions will be provided by the faculty member or scientist. That goes into a route called consultancy. Consultancy means a company, so-and-so company has to pay for that particular faculty's man hours and the consumables which he or she is using to develop that technical support. So the mode will be going in a different way. That will be a consultancy route. A startup who is not having that much of funding, we cannot give the 100% this thing. Of course, if they come with 60%, the rest we can take care of, at least linking them with the appropriate person to get the proper guidance. And with this, the number of incubated, like the startups, especially this particular slide is with respect to the Startup India Seed Funding Scheme, which we are one among the incubators which have been supported by Startup India with a funding of 5 crore, which is to be given to the startups under the grant and debt component. So far we have we have selected close to 54 plus startups out of 1,700 odd startups applications which we have evaluated for this particular scheme. We have received more than 1,500 applications under this particular scheme. So under 30 evaluation rounds which we conducted in the last 1 year, and we have selected at least 54 plus startups under this particular scheme for the funding support, and then 35 plus startups. Total number of startups which we have supported is 54 plus or 60 plus now it has crossed. Under the Startup India Seed Funding Scheme, it is close to 35 plus startups which we have supported with the funding. So grant funding of up to a maximum of 12 lakhs we have provided to close to, I think, 11 to I think 14 startups around have received the grant funding support, and then around 18 to 19 or close to 20 odd startups have been supported under the debt funding support. The debt funding is in the form of kind of a loan which they have to repay it after 1 year of moratorium period. This is as per the guidelines provided by the Startup India Seed Funding Scheme. This is not the funding from IIT Indore. This is IIT Indore is providing the funding support through Startup India Seed Funding Scheme. So we applied for that particular scheme to Startup India. The Startup India selected IIT AS Foundation as one of the incubators who can support the startups through the Startup India Seed Funding Scheme. So that's what, so debt funding of close to 20 and grant funding of close to 15, and more or less the funding is exhausted, though this is slightly outdated data. Now we don't have any funding remaining under this particular scheme. So 5 crore, it is being allocated 1 crore as about 1 crore as grant and about 4 crore as debt funding. We have allocated to close to 40 plus startups. Only the agreement signing for few of the startups are pending. It is coming to like the startup verticals here are covering all the predominantly the technology related areas. Predominantly technology, as we are a technology driven institute, 80% to 90% it is predominantly on the technological side. Some sort of 15-20% at least there will be a technological impact on that particular startup. It's sector agnostic. Sector agnostic only. We have made sure that we are touching all those areas which we can able to cover, starting from healthcare to ED tech to electric vehicle to AI/ML to service based. So whatsoever we have covered almost all the sectors. Of course, knowingly or unknowingly, there is a group of startups who we have that is fortunate for us, starting from the EV manufacturing to a software development for EV to the architectural electronics building inside your electric vehicle. Those we have a spectrum of startups, especially in the domain of EV. So close to 5-6 startups are in that particular spectrum, starting from your software development and then starting from recharge station related issues which they are addressing, and then the architectural modifications which they are doing for the electric vehicles. So we have close to 6 to 7 startups in that spectrum of EV as well. We do have MOUs or collaborations with the various startup ecosystem partners. So we do sign some sort of MOUs with the ecosystem partners, which are angel investor networks or venture capitalist firm, through which also we link our startups to them, and deserving startups which those startup ecosystem partners are finding pretty much useful, they will also link it to their angel investors and venture capitalists for the bigger funding support. So we do engage with the startup ecosystem partners, as well as apart from Startup India Seed Funding Scheme, we are also serving as one of the host institute for the MSMEs incubation scheme, which is now they are conducting what is called as MSME Idea Hackathon. If you would have heard that, so MSME Idea Hackathon. Most like tomorrow there is going to be evaluation for 25 such idea hackathon proposals in our incubation center. So we are one of the host institutes for serving under this MSME incubation scheme, where we evaluate proposals and recommend the deserving proposals with the help of a committee to Ministry of MSME for a funding support of up to 15 lakh. That is what one of the proposal which got through in the last round was Mr. Aditya's proposal, and he has been supported with 15 lakh with 85% of Government of India share and 15% of Mr. Aditya's share, because that is under the Government of Ministry of MSME's MSME incubation scheme, for which every year they conduct hackathon program. They will ask the host institute to evaluate and recommend few proposals, and the main ministry will receive all the recommended proposals from all the host institutes all over India. With the help of an apex committee, they select some of the proposals for funding support of maximum of 15 lakh. If it is a student category, entire 15 lakh will be acting as a grant. If it is other category, where if it is an MSME or other than student, it will be on a sharing basis. 85%, which is 12.75 lakhs, will come from Government of India, and 2.25 lakhs that concerned incubatee has to contribute for that 15 lakh. So that is one of the funding schemes which we are also part of it. And there is also one more scheme under this Ministry of MSME called MSME Design Scheme. So that is to mainly support the MSMEs, manufacturing MSMEs, especially if they are into the manufacturing sector and they are designing some sort of a product and they require any design intervention or if they want to modify their existing products design, and if they require a funding support, then for the MSME design scheme, especially for Madhya Pradesh, IIT Indore is acting as the implementing agency. I think IIT Indore and Manet Bhopal are the two implementing agencies for Madhya Pradesh, and the MSMEs have to submit a proposal to us, especially with respect to the design enhancements which they are trying to make. As an implementing agency, we will be evaluating and as per the scheme guidelines, and we will be mostly whatever we are recommending, if it is everything aligning to the scheme guidelines, it will be approved by the Ministry of MSME. It is not like the other scheme where we are the recommending authority. Of course, for MSME incubation scheme, we are recommending authority. Whatever we recommend, it doesn't mean that it gets approved by Ministry of MSME. But this scheme is slightly different. MSME design scheme where we are implementing agency. More or less whatever we are recommending or in the institute level as we are implementing agency, if it is aligning to the scheme guidelines and everything is perfect, that gets more or less around 80% it gets approved by the Ministry of MSME for funding support. So for one of the MSME of funding support of 15 lakh for the design of a smart braille watch that has been provided, and that particular MSME based out of Pune is implementing that particular project as well in the last 8 to 10 months. In the next round of MSME design scheme, we have recommended around 4 proposals that is going to come for the main meeting with the Ministry of MSME soon. The Ministry was the meeting was postponed. It's supposed to be get over last week itself, but it got postponed. So 4 such MSMEs proposals we have recommended, and we will be presenting to the MSME for the funding support. The total funding support for these 4 MSMEs are coming close to 1.5 crore. So each MSMEs have an implications close to 40 or 30 odd lakh. So here also there will be a sharing model. Since it is an MSME, the government on the total project cost, the MSME has to go on 25% if it is a micro. If it is a small or medium enterprises, then they have to go on 40%. So the remaining 60% or 75% will be coming from the government of India, that is Ministry of MSME. Okay, this is also one of the third scheme. So Startup India Seed Fund, MSME's incubation scheme, and MSME's design schemes. These are the 3 major funding schemes which we have supported the startups and MSMEs so far. Maybe in the last 4 to 5 years data, we have supported close to 64 plus startups. So these are all some of the major achievements of our startups. Swaha Resource Management, who was a previous incubatee, who was an IIT Indore alumni itself. So Swaha Resource Management is one of the popular startup, especially in Indore, especially on the waste management. They have won 2 awards, especially in the year 2020 and 2021. SCAS Technology, which is one of our startup by Professor Vishwakarma over here, Professor Santosh Vishwakarma, who is famous in this real estate design and semiconductors. So his own startup has also been selected as one of the finalists in the Swadeshi Microprocessor Challenge. Ananshi Vehicle, which is one of our previous incubatee, also they secured first prize in one of the international trade fair competition. Mr. Kunal Chaudhary, which is who is the CEO of Freebird Aerospace Private Limited, who is also alumni of IIT Indore. He has been appointed as they have secured 2nd position in the Material Next program. And apart from that, in the last few months itself, they have secured 3 or 4 first prize awards in various events in and around Madhya Pradesh, which they have participated. The Quantech L2M is the other startup which develops sensors, especially for healthcare, especially for agri-tech, basically, especially crop monitoring, and as well as for grass monitoring. So industry-based sensors, then agriculture-based sensors, as well as healthcare-based sensors. So their development is also sensor. That sensor is not, it is in-house developed sensor. The sensor will be developed from the scratch. It is not like the sensor is got from somewhere, you integrate it into a system and you develop an application. It is not like that. It is slightly different, where the sensor itself predominantly from the scratch it will be developed in that particular lab of Professor Shebabinatri. So their startups are also won various accolades. So these are our achievements, as I have already mentioned. Close to this is slightly outdated data again. So around 5.25 crores we have raised from the Startup India Seed Fund scheme, and through various other schemes close to 1.3 to 1.5 crores we have raised and supported startups through various ways, in the form of seed funding support, in the form of giving access to participate in the startup events which we are conducting, like startup expos which we conduct over there, so that they will get visibility from the IIT Indore community members in such a way that they get some sort of interaction which is possible with the IIT Indore. In various possible ways we have supported, as well as so in total around 7 crore fundings we have supported these startups. More than 7 crores of fundings have been supported for these 60 odd startups which we have incubated in the last 5 years. Then we also engage with so many boot camps or awareness programs which we have conducted. One we have even conducted in the year of 2022 at IPS as well, and that is under the MP Startup Centers program at that point of time. After that, we are now conducting in other institutes as well a startup boot camp, a 2-day boot camp program, especially for the students or startups, to make them aware about various concepts in entrepreneurship. So tomorrow is also one of the boot camp which we have scheduled. Tomorrow and day after tomorrow, that is going to happen in this Bansal Dental College here in Mahu. So tomorrow and day after tomorrow, the program is scheduled. The 2-day program with the IIT Foundation is organizing. So in the last 2 years, maybe we have engaged close to 1,800 MSMEs or startups or students in the form of conducting startup boot camps, in the form of organizing faculty development programs, in the form of organizing awareness programs for MSMEs regarding various funding schemes which we are providing. So to close to 1,800 odd MSME startups and students we have encouraged through various outreach activities which we are doing. These are all few of the prototypes which we have developed. That is what is a smart braille watch, especially for a deaf and blind person, which they are implementing through this MSME design scheme. So some of the prototypes which they have developed: air quality monitoring system, low-cost air purifier systems, then app development for agricultural based applications, so much so using NFC techniques, development of a brand card. These are all being supported under various schemes. What we have listed is very few of that. Yeah. Yeah, so this is some of your future initiatives where we are thinking to acquire some more bigger funding schemes from the Government of India, as well as to pair up with as many as startup ecosystem partners, good ecosystem partners, so that they can at least help our startup to scale the business from one stage to that of the other. So now we are concentrating on that. Various startups are in the early stage or in the early stage or pre-revenue stage, where they are getting the Government of India support and then they are developing it. Maybe 60 to 70% is the pre-revenue and 30 to 40% we have in the revenue stage. So especially those who are in the revenue stage, we can, or in the pre-revenue stage, we are planning to link them with various ecosystem partners so that they get bigger funding support for them to reach to the market. So these are all some of the initiatives which we are planning. Maybe in the future we are also thinking about incubating some field-specific startups and so on. So thank you so much for your visit. We have another round of meeting which is scheduled, and then maybe we have also any one or two questions we can address.
So one curiosity, during the presentation I've seen Ivy League venture. Is it related any way to Ivy League is in states?
No. Ivy League is universities.
Yeah.
Ivy League universities, that is some maybe related or something, because Ivy League, some of them founders are linked with IITs. So that's what. But Ivy League is where we call Ivy League as some universities.
Yes.
Some top universities.
Harvard
style. It is not. Maybe some of the funders over there are maybe from those alumni, but it is not. It may not be connected with that university as such. It is a simple angel investor firm basically. Fine. Okay. So thank you so much. We'll be
yeah. So at last I would like such kinds of industrial visits. So I would like to call Arindam sir for presenting this planetary to sir. I would like to call Gautam sir for presenting this memento to sir.
Thank you so much. And also as a token of thanks, Thank you. Thank you. So you can go and visit the lab and then.
एक आप भी आ जाइए सिखा दें।
Thank you.